Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Garfield Hour, where we will be going over some selected Garfield strips. All right, let's begin. Now, throughout my entire life, I have cut myself off of Garfield. I didn't look at anything because I wanted to discover it together. So, let us begin. Okay, now, in this strip, it starts with John, the main character. And he's talking to Garfield, and Garfield's a cat. We all know that. We all love Garfield here. And he says, "Here, Garfield, beg." And he's got like a piece of sausage. One can only assume that's sausage. I'm not entirely sure. Um, we're gonna say it's sausage. Now, John is holding up sausage, and he says, "Here, Garfield, beg." And we can tell that by Garfield's face at the bottom that he's already not amused. And so next we have Garfield going, "Swipe." And John, he says, "Ouch." And he throws the sausage out. He's in so much pain he can't hold on to it anymore. And it gets to Garfield saying, "Groveling is not one of my strong suits." Come on, Garfield. He's just trying to love on you, brother. Now, in our next panel, Garfield says, "I really shouldn't eat that fish." Now, the fish next to him looks so apathetic. Okay, he couldn't give a care in the world. We go to our next panel, and Garfield, he's thinking, he's contemplating. He doesn't know how to react to this fish. And the next panel, he says, "Call it an ethnic weakness," as he puts his hand into the bowl to eat a fish. Now, I don't know Garfield is a type of being to eat another living creature. So, I don't know about this panel. This seems to be like old Garfield, so maybe he, we seem to be having some technical difficulties at the Garfield Hour. My dog is acting like a complete nut right now. Definitely the Odie of my life. You guys will see that character later. So next we have Garfield, and he's on top of a bookshelf, which is a very dangerous thing to do. And he thinks to himself, "Steak!" He wants this. He's hungry for some damn steak. And he jumps. Oh my God, Garfield, do you know how dangerous this is? He jumps into the steak saying, "Bonsai," which I think is a Japanese thing. I'm not really sure. And he lands on the steak and he says, "Poof." And then the next panel, we see Garfield just living la vida loca. I mean, look at him. He's got the big ass steak in his mouth, and I don't think I've ever seen Garfield this happy before. I love it. There he is, notching on it. And we can only assume that John calls out, "Garfield!" Maybe an Alvin and the Chipmunks callback. I'm not sure. Garfield, he's gone feral, monstrous. He's hissing at John. Hiss, hiss. John is too scared to grab the stick. He reaches his hand back. No, I couldn't. And Garfield says, "Even a house cat has to forage for himself once in a while." So this is like a joke on hunting. This is a hunting joke. Yeah. That's a good one, Garfield. Let's all take a drink of our soft drinks before we begin to the next panel. All right. We open up with Garfield on what we can assume is a summer day. And he's sleeping. We can tell he's sleeping by that big Z. Now, my dog is, she wants some loving. Honey, it's the Garfield Hour. Go to sleep. Anyways, Garfield, he's sleeping, and the sun is roasting his belly. We can tell by the heat waves. And he wakes up and he goes, "Snort. Uh-oh." What could this mean? Oh, and we go to the next panel. Garfield says, "Oh, ow, eep, ip, ooh, ah, ooch. Garfield, my friend, you've got a sunburn. It happens to the best of us. I know that I've had a sunburn a couple times in my life. I swear. It's the Garfield Hour. We're trying to read Garfield. I don't have anything. Gosh. Gosh dang it. I can't believe it. In our next panel, John talks to us sleeping. Get away from the camera, Stella. You were such a gosh dang nut. Where were we? I'm having so many little difficulties with this. So, Garfield's sleeping. John says, "Good morning, Garfield. Today we're going to learn to walk on a leash." And as we can see in the next panel, he's having some struggle with this. Now, John, you walk dogs on a leash. Cats, you don't take the cats outside. Cats are not outdoor animals, John. Well, I guess there are some outdoor cats. But as we see in this next this panel, Garfield has taken on a rather feline form. I've never seen Garfield look this cat-like. Look at him. He's got the legs and the arms. He's got the neck back out. He looks full-on Egyptian. Anyways, John is struggling, trying to pull him. And then I'm going to impromptu give my own little sound effect here. Zip! Garfield runs forward. John falls over from this action. Kabonka, bonka, bonka. Garfield, he looks like a full-on wheel. That's what Garfield says. Garfield is a cat. The neighbor says, "I tell you, Thelma, this neighborhood is getting weirder by the minute. Because now, Garfield is in the air. He has destroyed John. Ripped him to shreds. Garfield, why are you acting like this?" Now, I'm not sure, what's going on with Garfield here, but he's lost his marbles, if I do say so myself. Jim Davis, if you could get in contact with me and let me know what you were thinking with this panel. I'm so confused. Is this a cat joke or is this a Garfield joke? Has this happened to you personally, Jim? Well, let's go to the next slide. There was one letdown, Jim Davis. I'm sure that, who selected these things? I don't even know. Okay. John says, oh, I can already tell. This is the beginning of the legend. I love lasagna. Now, John said that. Don't get me mixed up. That was not Garfield. That was John. John says, I love lasagna. Now, Garfield, he peeps his head open and he says, so do I. He jumps up and he starts eating the lasagna. Gobble, 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 gobble. And he is putting it away. Look at John's face. He's shocked by this action. He was really looking forward to that lasagna, I can tell. And now, Garfield has stolen that from him. John says, I love cats. I wanted a cat. So what do? I go to the pet store and I ask for a cat. And what do they give me? A lasagna with fur and fangs. A lasagna with fur and fangs. Okay, so Jim, I'm going to assume this is the beginning of lasagna loving. Because this is very head on with the lasagna love. Now this lasagna with fur and fangs. Lasagna with fur and fangs. Now, I don't get that. Is it because he eats lasagna so much that he has become lasagna? He's 100% lasagna? I don't know. I guess Jim was thinking you are what you eat. I don't know. Jim Davis, call me on the phone. I have so many questions for you. Next panel. Garfield says, I love scrambled eggs, especially on chilly mornings. when my feet get cold. Now, we all thought that Garfield was just chilling, And then by the third panel, it's revealed that Garfield is standing in eggs. The eggs that John was presumably going to eat for his breakfast. Garfield, you little mischievous little beast. Let him enjoy his... God, Garfield is such a fiend. He's such a little prankster. I don't know. I don't know if I could live with Garfield. I feel like he'd be pranking me too much. John is so rattled by this. He's like, are those my eggs you're standing in? Garfield, come on. Look at that. We've reached an intermission. Okay, everyone, we are at the official Garfield Hour intermission. Everybody, grab some chips and salsa and put them at the table. I'm going to grab mine now. Hello, everyone. I am back. I have awoken the beast that is Stella. She wants some chips and salsa. She's got the head up. Let me see. Show him some skin, Stella. Oh, yeah. Here, have a chip. All right. Opening up the salsa container now. Salsa. Taking a drink of my Pepsi. I would say this Garfield Hour is going pretty smooth. I'm now going to eat the first chips and salsa of the intermission. Everyone, dig in with me. Here we go. All right. Let's continue. Now, Garfield, he's looking, I can't tell what this emotion is, but he says, "This is my very first Christmas." Uh-oh. I already know that he's up to no good. Garfield says, "I hope you have a loved one to spend today with, because I do." Oh, uh-oh. What's he up to? He's up to something. Because this is not... Garfield is always up to something. Let's start over. We want to get the full thing. "This is my very first Christmas. I hope you have a loved one to spend today with, because I do. It's you. Merry Christmas." Garfield. Come on, buddy. I pegged you for a little prankster, but you've got a heart of gold, and I'm starting to see that now. Garfield, I want to get this framed and on my wall. That's how sweet you are, Garfield. Buddy. Stella, you want a chip? Alrighty. I'm going to put salsa on Stella's chip. Hope that does not destroy her insides. Please do not rupture her. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. I read ahead and I chuckled because this next one's a riot. Okay. John says to Garfield, "If you take one bite of my pie, Garfield, I'll smack your fat little paws." You just can't say that, John. You just can't. And then the next panel is Garfield jumping on the pies. Garfield, what are you up to, man? He just said don't touch it. He's going to smack your fat little paws, Garfield. He's coming for him. He says, "If I can't have it, neither can he." Oh, this isn't even a joke. This is just looking at Garfield's damaged psyche. Like, come on, Garfield. Let the man have his pie. Jim Davis must have been going through a rough patch. That's what it is, a rough patch when he wrote this, because this is just sad. Oh my God, who's this? Who is this guy? Looks like a bizarro version of John. I can't tell if that's a mustache or brown teeth. Anyways, he's like moving. He's jittery. He's erratic. Garfield is not having it. This new guy says, "That's called disco dancing, Garfield." Garfield says, "Thank heavens. For a minute there, I thought he had a live carp in his jockey shorts." Okay, so who is this guy in relation to Garfield? Is this guy in John's house? Just dancing? And Garfield doesn't care? This is very strange. These are all old Garfield strips. I peeked ahead, but he gets younger. Now, I had my special Garfield specialist select these, so these are all primo. Is that a word? Yeah. All right. Let's continue with the Garfield Hour. I'm Jan Two Sleeves, and you're watching the Garfield Hour. Now, John says, "Speak, Garfield, speak." Garfield, he actually speaks out loud. This is what? He says, "Why, of course, John. Is there any particular topic in which you'd like to converse?" Not only can Garfield speak perfect English, he's actually highly intelligent, and he's rubbing it in John's face. Garfield is a man that just does not care anymore. He's just talking and talking. This is insane. This is new. Now, John, clearly stunned by this, says, "Beep, beep, 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 beep," something like that. Oh, it's revealed that there was a guy underneath the desk talking. Garfield looks at that guy like, "We did it." He's so smug about it. Man, that's crazy. I really thought that Garfield was actually talking. Well, that's the Garfield Hour for you. And we've reached another intermission. Everybody, it's chips and salsa time once again. It is very hot in this room. I'm wearing a full suit. I am sweating. And now I'm eating spicy food. Could you believe it? I'm out of control, Stella. Garfield thinks to himself, "I wonder what I look like skinny." Oh, Garfield. This must be like Jim Davis, the illustrator and creative mind behind Garfield. He must have looked ages into the future to see a skinny Garfield taking over where this fat Garfield once ruled. So this must be like a future joke that they didn't get back then. I get it now. Next panel. Garfield looks up at this skinny Garfield. He's disgusted. He's scared. He's this image is grotesque to Garfield. He's gained seizures. John comes across Garfield eating, and he says, "Garfield, your diet." And Garfield thinks to himself, "My vanity." And so he's eating a chicken. Wow. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Everybody take a drink of your sanctioned Pepsis. All right. This one begins with a note, which is very strange. Let's read on. Cartoonist note. Today's Garfield strip is to be read only by fat people, or people with fat tendencies. You skinny ones can read the other strips, or jog, or drink a glass of water. Whatever it is skinny people do, I wouldn't know. Now, this is very strange. I'm not allowed to read this. I'm a skinny, petite man, Jim Davis. Why would you make exclusive? I don't know. I don't like where this is going for the future, Jim. I'm going to assume Jim Davis is dead, and I'm just going to read this anyways. So if I read this and the ghost of Jim Davis appears behind me saying, "No, don't," and he pulls me back into the afterlife, close off this video. I don't want you guys to get the curse of the ghost of Jim Davis. Let's read on. Garfield is happy as hell. "I am hereby declaring this coming week National Fat Week. Come out of the closet, you fatties. This week we're going to eat without guilt. Remember our slogan, if it's not deep fried, it's not worth eating. will boycott carrots and tell skinny jokes. I would have had a national convention, but I couldn't get the Kansas City stockyards to cater it. Well, this joke doesn't make any sense to me, Jim Davis. It's probably because I'm skinny. This must be like a fat person's comedy. But if you're out there and you're watching this and you're a little bit on the obese side, please let me know what any of this means. The Kansas City stockyards, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what to say. Did the ghost of Jim Davis appear behind me? I don't know. What are you doing? Get out of here, man. Go on. It's the Garfield Hour and you're ruining it. Stella, you're ruining the Garfield Hour and everybody hates that about you. We hate you, Stella. No, we don't. Here, have a chip. All right. This next strip opens with a bang. This is a dynamite strip. Garfield pushes a pot of flowers onto the floor. Crash! Shatters on the ground. Garfield, you broke my fern! You can see this is classic comic strips. You get those little evil black lines. Garfield looks on. I raised that fern from a frond. I'm not sure what frond means. What did that fern ever do to you? I mean, John is he is livid. He loathes Garfield right now. He can't believe it. Why, I have a notion he doesn't know the words anymore because Garfield is smiling. Garfield is a man with nothing left to lose. Now he's happy. Garfield is happy. He gets so much joy out of watching John suffer. You're so cute. Like putty in my paws. Aw. You can't just go breaking stuff, Garfield, and then acting all cute to make up for it. You just can't. Garfield, you're out of control, buddy. I don't know. Right now, my feelings on Garfield right now, I just don't know. For the first time in my life, let's just move on to the next panel, all right? My moods are like an escalate with the Garfield Hour. You're not going to make me stand up. Oh, whoa. I messed it up already. This hair is getting in my way. Sorry, viewers. John says, you're not going to stand me up again, are you, Doc? Really? Why are you going out with me? Now, the doctor is just checking on Garfield. The doctor responds with, you amuse me. John says, I'll settle for that. Garfield smugly thinks to himself, Don Juan dazzles another love-struck What are you doing? It's the Garfield Hour. I am in the middle of reading a panel, and you jump up here. Well, you've ruined this panel for everybody. And it's another intermission. Another intermission of the Garfield Hour, and we're skipping it because Stella is up to no good. What, do you want to read one? Here, read it. Look, you read it. You wanted to read it so bad, read it. You wanted to be the star of the Garfield Hour. Go ahead. What's Garfield up to? Yeah, I'll read it. Go on. Come back when you've learned how to act, Stella. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's so hard raising this dog. Garfield says, there it is. Prepare to meet your maker, sludge monster. Oh my god, there's an actual sludge monster in the Garfield canon. Why did you mangle that liver, Garfield? Says John. Oh, it was food, everybody. Sorry. In the interest of national security, sir. Garfield is he's playing a role. Man, these strips suck. I don't know if it's Garfield or just these strips. If this is the best that they got, I don't know. Remember, Garfield, you're a vicious attack cat. And there's a little man in this panel. Now, we've introduced characters already, but I've never seen this tiny homunculus. Did Garfield... I don't know. Garfield's got teeth in this one. Sharp, vicious teeth. Attack! Oh, God. Looking at Garfield in this... I've never seen Garfield like this. You'll never see Garfield depicted in this way anywhere else besides right here on the Garfield Hour. Look at him with his ears back and his big old pop belly. Your mother wears combat boots. That was his attack. He roasted him. Garfield, man. Next strip, everybody. I'm putting you on a diet, Garfield. You may have whatever you can sip through a straw. Damn, that's cruel. You can have what you can sip through a straw. You can only have liquids. I don't know about that, John. Anyways, Garfield got this whole chicken. He ain't sucked out through a straw, but we get to see him try. Suck. Oh, Garfield sucked down an entire chicken. That's commitment, John. He made you eat your own words. Back to the drawing board, says John. Clearly one up by Garfield. Well, that's a good panel right there. Now, I love this next panel. Everybody, put on the covers. We're going to be reading this one in bed. Everybody get in bed. Here we go. Thanks for a lovely evening, Liz. Let me start over. All right. Now, I'm going to enter this scene with some exposition. Now, hi, I'm Jan Two Sleeves, and you're watching the Garfield Hour. Now, as you may know, Garfield and John have a love-hate relationship. All right. Garfield loves to punish John. You know, I'm not sure why. He just loves it. So we see John on a date with a veterinarian, one can only assume. And John says, "Thanks for a lovely evening, Liz." And he goes in for a kiss. And Garfield leans over and kisses John with his lips. Kiss is a little sound effect we see. And you can see John's eyes, they're wide. He's like, did I really just kiss Garfield? And he's disgusted in the next scene. He's like, bleh, bleh. And Garfield says, you lucky dog. I rarely kiss on the first date. Now, Garfield loves to act like he hates John. But right here, this little strip shows me that, like, Garfield, you love John. You're in love with John. You play like you hate him. But this shows me right here that you love him, and you're disingenuous, Garfield, and I love that about you. You got this tough exterior about you. When it push comes to shove, you know, you're a John man through and through. Let's go to the next strip. I'll get you, Garfield. I'll get you out. Garfield is wrapped in the blinds. What are these things called? What are these? Blinds? Anyways, John pulls him down. Clunk. What are you eating, Stella? She just wants to be the star of the Garfield Hour so bad. Clunk. Gee, is there anything I can do for you? Notify your next of kin. Garfield has given up. He's killing himself in this panel. Alright. We are still on the air with the Garfield Hour. I'm Jan Two Sleeves. This is Garfield. How you doing? This one starts with, what's this strange feeling I feel today? I feel like being nice to everyone today. He gives John a big old fat kiss on the cheek. Kiss. And then he's kissing this guy. Kiss, kiss, kiss. He kisses Odie. He hates Odie. Kiss on the mouth. And they put him in the insane asylum. People don't want nice. People want consistency. And Garfield, that is so true. This is just some straight up life advice from the big cat himself, Garfield. And that's the Garfield Hour for you. We live, we learn, we lose, we love. You're watching the Garfield Hour. This one starts with Garfield approaching the sofa. Or is that a chair? That's a chair. This one starts with Garfield approaching. Get away, Stella. This one starts with Garfield. I've said this like 5 times. I want to say it one more time. This one begins with Garfield approaching John's chair. Garfield says, "I declared this chair the sole property of Garfield the cat." And then John immediately comes up with, "Move it, Garfield. That's my chair." Garfield's retort to this is, "My chair." John says, "My chair." So Garfield thinks, "My chair." This is strange. As many of you may know, Garfield doesn't actually talk. He just thinks in his head. So when he says "my chair" and John follows up with "my chair," it doesn't make any sense. Because Garfield can't speak. So basically what's happening here is John says, "Move it, Garfield, that's my chair. My chair. My chair." And then he kicks Garfield like so hard. I would never hurt my animals like that. I'm kicking my dog as we speak. "My chair." Garfield says, "My cushion." Garfield refuses to admit when he's beat. And I love that about him, and I hate that about him. Next strip. John says, "Hello, Doc, remember me?" He's singing this. "Hello, Doc, remember me?" The doctor responds with, "Where's your cat?" John says, "Forget my cat. Can't we get started without him?" Doctor says, "Sure. First, a vitamin E shot to give your coat a keener sheen." John immediately was like, "I'll go get my cat." He does not want that shot. He just wants to... We're all adults here. We know what he wants to do to Liz. Wink. You're watching the Garfield Hour. Now, this is a child. There's so many characters in the Garfield universe that I was not aware of. Here's a child. The light bulb is burned out of the lamp. He's using that lamp to read. John tries to fix it. And maybe he doesn't. He just is kind of there. The kid says, "Don't worry about me. I'll just sit here in the dark, going blind." And John says, I'll fix it. And the boy turns to Garfield. "He's such a good boy." Huh. I don't know. Is that John's kid, or who is this? Why is this cat meeting so many people? Huh. All right. The next strip. Oh, we've got a beautiful intro here. It's Garfield. He's lying down. They got the stars, the 3D stars. Garfield. Jim Davis must have been proud of this one because it's got the big old title. And we got the crew right here. Bing bonk, bing bonk. Now, actually, these people aren't even in the comics. That's another title. We've got Garfield, and then we have the characters of Garfield right next to it. It hasn't even begun yet. This is just here's the name, we're in your face, here's the characters too. That's what we're looking at right now. Don't be touching that, Stella. Come on. Anyways, Garfield says, "I wonder if I could stand on just 2 feet. Hey, this is great. I'm standing. Now I can tap dance. Tap, 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 tappity, tap, tap." Stella refuses to listen to my advice. I'm throwing chips at her now. Have some effing chips, you effing fool. I'm mad at Stella. You've been nothing but a nuisance this entire Garfield hour. You're like my Odie, because you want to ruin everything for me. I just want to be here with you guys on the Garfield Hour. I want to read some Garfield strips to you, talk about Garfield. And Stella, she has to be center of attention, and she's trying to ruin the Garfield Hour for everybody. I don't know what to tell you. Now I'm going to start from the beginning, because Stella, you don't come near me. You are in so much trouble, Stella. So much. Don't you give me those eyes. I wonder if I could stand on just 2 feet. Hey, this is great. I'm standing. Now I can tap dance. And I can reach a tabletop. He's reaching for a burger in this one. Garfield loves food. And drop kick Odie. Drop kick. Is that what a drop kick is? I don't think so. I always assumed drop kick was like when you kick downwards to drop them to the ground. But he's just picking them up, dropping them, and kicking them. Garfield, cats can't walk on their hind feet, and as soon as he says these words out loud, he smacks into the ground. See? Thanks a lot. Let him walk on his... Why would you say that to him? John, let Garfield have his day. They need to make a movie where things go right for Garfield. I'm sick of John coming in here because he's so sad. He wants to ruin things for Garfield all the time. John, I don't care. I care about Garfield. This isn't called John Arbuckle. This is called Garfield. And I'm sorry to tell you this. Crunch. Garfield has gone feral once again. He's eating this pepperoni pizza. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His head is spherical. That's an oval. Oval. That frozen pizza would be much better if you baked it first. He's eating a frozen pizza. Garfield, you impatient fool. John, how about you cook the pizza? How about you give this boy some cat food? John, my man, what are you doing? The day I come home and my pet Stella is eating a frozen pizza, take her away. I have failed my job. All right? If she's going to eat anything pizza related, it's going to be cooked. John, don't just be leaving out frozen pizzas for your cat to eat and then getting mad when they eat them. John, my man. Homeboy slacking like a Garfield. We got another beautiful title. Z. Okay, I've noticed that Garfield has started to change his design a little bit here. He's sleeping. Now, Jim Davis is... What are you doing? Are you serious? Do you know how many times you've done this? And it hasn't even been a full hour yet. What is your deal? Do you just want to ruin things that I love? You're sick, man. You need to get some help. Don't look at me. Ruining the Garfield Hour. Next time you're going outside. I ain't doing the Garfield Hour with you around so you can ruin it. You're sick, Stella. Stella sabotages the Garfield Hour. That's the news. All the headlines read it. Stella ruined the Garfield Hour. Don't blink at me. I'm going to try to get back into the mood. I don't know if I can. But I'm going to try. This is on your hands, Stella. My blood is on your hands. Wake up, Garfield. I want you to see a sunrise. A sunrise? Me? That's unnatural. Garfield always sleeps in. That's what he means by this. John is still in his pajamas. He looks like a toothpaste bottle. It's about time you saw a sunrise. He really wants him to see the sunrise. I don't get it. Garfield refuses. Then take a picture. Where's your sense of adventure, says John. He slams this thing down. If it's before breakfast, I'm not interested. Garfield is running. Look at him. Garfield, you can't go back to sleep after you just ran. Now John is mad. It's an emotional experience you'll never forget. Garfield says, I know. I saw one once in a movie. I'll tell you what. If you want to go out peacefully, I'll never ask you to see a sunrise again. Garfield says, agreed. They go outside and it's raining. Rats, says John. Garfield says, I'm all choked up. Let's go in. He wants to sleep. Look at this intro. Garfield's got full-on teeth here. He's smiling. All right, now. He's eating cookies, I think. He's got his tongue out. He's gone wild. Garfield, I've always wondered, what do you do with all the raisins you pick off your cookies? Garfield says, that's none of your business. John says, oh well, I guess I'll go clean out the coat closet today. Garfield says, I would do that if I were you. Yeah! Very funny, Garfield. Just look at the mess you've made. Now I'll have to get a broom out of the broom closet to clean this up. Garfield says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Oh my God. Not only did he fill up this entire closet with raisins, there's a whole nother closet filled with God only knows. More raisins? How many cookies do you eat, brother? Why make raisin cookies if he's just going to pick them out, John? You know he doesn't like them. Garfield says, this salad needs something. He's eating his salad. It looks to me just like a piece of lettuce, so I would say the salad needs a lot of things. I think I'll garnish it. What could you possibly garnish this salad with to make you happy? Because look at your face. You're up to something. You're up to something, Garfield. I think I'll garnish it with a ham. Wham! He's putting on a full effing ham on that salad. Garfield don't give an F. He's eating that whole ham. Wham! Wham! Man, Garfield, you are out of your mind, brother. Garfield isn't that. I'll say that to all of you right now. Hello? Debbie, my sweet, he says on the phone. Now, I thought he was dating Liz. How many love interests does this MF have? Garfield sneaks off with a steak. Is it a ham? You fat greedy pig, I ought to shave you bald and put you out in the cold. Hello? He said that on the phone to his girlfriend. John, brother, have you ever learned to talk to women? I'm going to throw some more chips at Stella. They always miss her. Why do I throw them? Next one. I'm turning the tables on Garfield. I'm stealing his dinner. John has fully lost his mind in this one. He's going to eat cat food. That's his genius plan to get back at Garfield, his cat. I'm going to eat cat food. You're getting him, John. John said, I have Garfield's food. I have Garfield's food. And he's running around on all fours. John, homeboy, do not eat your cat's food, man. I have Garfield's food. Now here's Garfield, root beer with a straw in it. He's eating mashed potatoes with butter on it and steak. He's got the little side servants, gravy and whatnot. He's got a knife. What's all the commotion about? Garfield don't give an F, John. Your plan to get back at him has failed. I have Garfield's food. John, boy, get that out of here. I just want to reach into this panel. Tell John not to eat his cat's cat food. First of all, I have never seen Garfield eat cat food. Never in my life. He only eats extravagant human food. He is an excessive cat. So you stealing his food, John, does not compute with me, man. Giving me an aneurysm. John, unbuckle. I gotta go to the next strip. I'm having mood swings. Doc, you're looking more like Dad all the time. You take that back. Smack in the head. Hush up, boy. And then Garfield says the Three Stooges live. Now, I've never seen the Three Stooges. I get the whole slapstick comedy. I don't know these characters. They look like mutants. I don't know what to say to this one, guys. It exists. Why this one was selected for me, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get a new selector, I think. No. That's the Garfield Hour. We got some hits and some misses. Garfield is blindfolded, and he looks so creepy. Blindfolded. I shall now identify things I cannot see. He grabs a whole plate off it, that John's plate that he was eating on. throws it in his mouth. Food! That was very good, Garfield. He identified it. It was just really vague, but he got it. John says, I hate you. Garfield is spooked. Who's that? Hey. Get out of here. Go on. Go. You're ruining the Garfield Hour. Yet again. Come up here so I can flick you in the head. You like that? I'm grabbing your cheeks. I got your cheeks and there's nothing you can do about it. I got your cheeks. I got your cheeks. Let go of me. You're watching the Garfield Hour. Alright. This one begins with... I'm throwing some chips down for the beast so she'll leave us alone. Anything I can do, Your Majesty? Garfield says, peel me a grape. Pluck me a chicken. John says, I was being sarcastic. Garfield says, barbecue me a heifer. He has gotten out of bed. Now, I'm beginning to worry about John's state of mind. He's reading his thoughts, which leads me to believe that Garfield is not actually thinking anything. John is just pretending that he's thinking these things for entertainment. John. Buddy. I got your food. Next slide. Next strip. Don't eat these donuts. You're on a diet, Garfield. Oh my God. Look at Garfield. He has fully lost touch of his domesticated side. I don't know why John is just eating a full plate of donuts. He knows he's on a diet. Show some respect. Garfield is picking them up by the armful. I won't eat him, I swear. And he's picking up more. I just want to rub them all over my body. Wow, that's weird. Weirdly sexual, Garfield. I gotta keep feeding this dog. I can't believe it. I'm about to just kill her. No, we would never kill another living creature on the Garfield Hour. We're taking a resting break. Everybody stretch your arms before we continue. You're watching the Garfield Hour. Another beautiful little title intro. Look at Garfield. He's got swirls. Sigh, says John, fishing. Odie's with them too. Garfield also says sigh. Now this is strange. Because Garfield actually sighed. Usually he thinks what he's saying. But he's actually spoken out loud the words sigh. John says, fishing's great, Garfield. The fresh air. Garfield says, I smell bait. John, the wildlife. Garfield says, the mosquitoes the size of canned hams. Zzz, zzz. John says, the solitude, the companionship. Garfield follows up with stranded in a dinghy with a Tweedledee and Tweedledum. John says, kind of makes a guy just want to sing. This statement, just Garfield cannot process it anymore. He jumps out of the boat. Well, John continues to sing, fishing is my life. Fishing is my life. Now, Odie is waving goodbye, or he's watching. I don't know. Strange. Get away. Oh my God. What is going on with you? She is now officially trying to sabotage the Garfield Hour. She is coming up here chewing on the wires on which we are recording with. And then she tries to pull off the mixer. I don't know what to do with her. She wants to ruin the Garfield Hour. We're just a couple of friends reading Garfield strips together. And she hates that. She's an Odie fan, I guarantee it. Because she hates cats. She attacks any cat she sees. So when I want to talk about cats, oh, too much. Too much for her. F you, Stella. F you. Garfield. Man, I haven't had lasagna in like forever. Says Garfield's stomach. John says, what would you like for dinner? Garfield says, lasagna. John says, some steamed rice? Garfield says, no, lasagna. John says, maybe peas and carrots? Garfield is getting mad. Lasagna, lasagna. John says, or I could whip up a nice... Garfield's not having it anymore. He brings out all the ingredients for an effing lasagna. Throws it in his stupid face. Here, noodles, onions, ricotta, mozzarella, and sausage. Oh, and tomatoes. Hey! Get out of here. She is... I don't know if you guys saw this. She is eating the microphone pole. What is going on with you? What are you up to? I grabbed her by the ears, don't worry. I shook him. She liked it. I don't know what that was about. Okay, let's get back into it. I'm having like a panic attack, everybody. Just this Garfield hour is killing me mentally. Stella, I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands. I'm going to. And nobody's gonna stop me. She's eating the microphone pole again. She's eating the pole again. I'm gonna kill you. That's it. Welcome back to the Garfield Hour. I opened up the closet, she went in there and went to sleep immediately. That's all I had to do. I wish I could go back in time and do it. I'm sorry for all the interruptions that we have experienced. That is on me completely. And I'm sorry. I apologize. But you're watching the Garfield Hour, so let's just get back into it. This has been a bad day, Garfield, says John. Tell me about it. And Stella comes right out that door. Back to cause more mischief and ruin my night. I'm going to die on the Garfield Hour. I'm dead. John says, and no wonder. Someone stuck a bury me alive sign on my back. What? I haven't even heard of that. Garfield says, yes, some days are better than others. I don't know what any of that means. Now we have another Garfield. Now Garfield's hanging from a tall tree. Strange. John is drinking a mug of some sorts. Hey, dipwad. Time to feed the cat. Oh, this is a real chat bubble. That's crazy. Not a thought. This is someone who's actually saying this out loud. John is frightened by this. Take a moment out of your pathetic existence to care for your living pet, you dork. Man, who talks like that? To John. John is already having a rough time. Out of your pathetic existence? Man. Garfield. John does a double take. He's like, wait, what'd you say? That's what he does. Garfield is holding up his bowl. I guess I'll fix your dinner, says John. Zip, he pulls back a string. And make it snappy, geek boy. That food bowl is talking. All he has to do is pull it, and it feeds Garfield. That's nice. It's a little prank toy. All right. Listen to this, Garfield. Are you breathing? Are you a mammal? Do you walk upright? I'm single and desperate. Call me at 5552. Oh, wait. That's my ad. What the heck? Call. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, this is sad, dude. So let's break this down. John is so alone that he's taken out an ad in the newspaper to meet somebody, and his standards for a loving partner are breathing, being a mammal, bipedal. I'm sorry, man. Like, come on, this ain't funny, Jim. Jim Davis wrote this thinking like this is gonna be so funny. This is sad. This is just a character study on the sadness of John's life. You better wow me with this next one. Now, John looks tired. He hasn't shaven at all. He's drinking some kind of coffee. It must be early in the morning. He opens up the blinds. Shunk! There is a snow monster outside this man's window. John cannot catch a break. A living, abominable snowman outside his window. Gah! Garfield says, 2 olives, a carrot, an ice cube tray, and a little snow, and it's a fun time. Garfield looks so smug in this panel, and I hate it. Look at him look at the panel like, Garfield. And this is like an instruction manual. This is dangerous to post, you know. You're telling kids how to make evil snow creatures. When this came out, I guarantee that there was a bunch of these little snow guys everywhere just ruining villages. Where's my pie? That's the 5th one this week. Hey, there's a tunnel down here. Rats. Alright, this could mean 2 things. 1, Garfield has dug a tunnel in the oven. And he goes through the tunnel that's being cooked and takes the pies that have not been finished. And 2, when he says rats, he means actual rats. Rats have dug a tunnel and they're eating the pies. But it's still on. Jim, baby. I don't know. We're lucky that Jim Davis is dead. The ghost of Jim Davis is haunting me. He's here, and he's laughing at me. The ghost of Jim Davis is saying, ha 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 ha. Enjoy my Garfield strips on the Garfield Hour. Thanks, Jim. I hate to admit it, but I miss John. I miss the laughter and the kindness. John died. Maybe I should let him out of the closet. Thump, thump, thump. Garfield locked him in the... Garfield, buddy. You're up to no good, homeboy. You got some crazy tendencies. Garfield. All right. Slam. Now, the text on this one is so tiny. I don't know what the deal is with that. I got to get up in there. My vision is not that great. What a day. I was downtown and saw a place to get your palm read, so I went in. I can't read it all, so I went in. This old gypsy woman took one look at my palm, and I couldn't stop laughing. She couldn't stop laughing. Naturally, this upset me. So I took out my gum and stuck it on her crystal ball. And that's what she got mad and put this curse on me. Garfield says, so what's the curse? The joke is that Garfield doesn't care that he has a small head. John, that was kind of a rude thing to do. I mean, just because she's laughing doesn't mean you put gum on your... Imagine going to see a gypsy woman, as he says, chewing gum, taking it out of your mouth, sticking it on her crystal ball. You came to her to pay for her services. You can't do that to her. That's disrespectful. John, you deserve that curse. Now, John says, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Garfield does not care. He pats John on the head. Pat, pat, pat. Good for you. Got him. That's a Garfield got him. And that's our first Garfield got him of the night on the Garfield Hour. Schlink. Nice. Full moon tonight. That's when I turn into a primal beast. You and me both, buddy. I see I'm not alone. There's a piranha. The fish has also turned into a primal beast. Go ahead. Stick your hand in here. Man, these guys are insane. How long has John had a pet fish? You never hear about that. So you got Odie, Garfield, and then the pet fish. There's so many Garfield characters, and yet, I'm not getting any of the good ones. That was a great meal, wasn't it? What? Oh, yeah, sure. Garfield says, slup, 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 slup. John looks at the camera. That boy loves his pizza. What is this? I'm gonna reread this one. We're doing a rewind. That was a great meal, wasn't it? What? Oh yeah, sure. Slup, 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 slup. That boy loves his pizza. This is my favorite Garfield panel. I wanted that one like tattooed on my back. Slup, 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 slup. Yo, what's up? Well, that was awful. Garfield says, here's your mail. And here's the mailman's wallet. John says, leave the poor man alone. Garfield says, boy, his kids are ugly. Boy, are his kids ugly. And that is the second Garfield got him of the night. Back to back. Welcome to the Garfield Hour. That's 2 Garfield got 'ems. John says, there are many, many things I will never understand. He's on the phone. And they are all women. A rare moment of honesty. I feel that one, John. And our final panel of the Garfield Hour. Let's read it. Sorry, I want to get ready for this one. This one is the big one. Ellen, I have something to tell you. I only have a week to live. Yes! So much for the symphony angle. So much for the sympathy angle. You have all mine. This one is just sad. This one isn't funny either. Jim Davis, you can't just punish John Arbuckle and expect me to laugh. The girl he's on the phone with, Ellen, wants him to die. And that's your comedy, Jim Davis? We're lucky Jim Davis is dead, because the ghost of Jim Davis couldn't make it in this world today. And that's going to conclude the Garfield Hour. That was a wild ride, wasn't it, Stella? Get up here. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there she is. Don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Let me fix the hair. Now, I'm Jan Two Sleeves, and this was the Garfield Hour. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks. Am I supposed to wave? I don't know. You ever seen this before? It's a wave. We wave to people when we say goodbye. You don't get it. You're a dog. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm Jan Two Sleeves, and this concludes the Garfield Hour. Thanks for watching. Garfield Hour. Garfield.